we have an opening question here. A lot of times Bitcoiners talk about a magical future when we have all these different kind of soft forks and different kind of technologies on top of Bitcoin. I'm kind of curious, like, what is exciting you that's being worked on right now that's kind of, held back by a future feature? Let's jump to Andrew.
Go to me last. You go to me last.
Oh, go to you last. Okay, sorry. Well, I mean, the only person working on a soft fork here is Jeremy. I guess what kind of things excite you that's enabled by maybe CTV or Taproot or something else that's being built out there? I'm sure it's a long question.
So I am working on a couple different soft forks. CTV is like the main and like first one that I'm hoping to get progress on. The way that I see it, Check Template Verify is BIP 119. It's going to be one of the biggest changes in how people are able to use Bitcoin ever. And it's not going to be like, now we've got the EVM on Bitcoin, but it's going to solve a lot of these fundamental issues that people have to solve every day with transaction congestion, as we're seeing like in ETH right now, like their fees are just absurd and they can't get their transactions through. It's going to solve things for people who are having trouble managing self-custody. And it's going to make opening up Lightning channels like substantially easier. And so that onboarding is just going to be like tremendous. So I'm really excited for Check Template Verify. And there's other stuff that I'm working on as well, which is hopefully going to fix a lot of the transaction mempool like stuck issue that we're having, where transactions can get stuck in the mempool. I've got something I'm working on for that. And then all these things, of course, all work together, in the zeitgeist with like Taproot and any Prevote. So I think that there's just going to be a lot of stuff that's exciting, and Bitcoin is, incrementally building this, mountain that is not built on cards.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess maybe sometimes it can be frustrating, but hopefully it's the right way. Matt, let's jump to you. I know that you're working with DLCs, and there's a bit of need for Schnorr, desire for Schnorr when it comes to that department. So why don't you kind of talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Schnorr isn't required for DLCs just to work by themselves, but once you have Schnorr, you can enable things like transferability of DLCs over Lightning, for example, which is particularly exciting if you want to have any type of advanced options. If you want to have binary options or standard options with using DLCs. Before I get into that, I should give a quick primer of what a DLC is. It's basically a Bitcoin Oracle contract, smart contracts for Bitcoin, where a price feed can come in and people can create various contracts using that. But Schnorr is obviously very, very useful for that. I guess some of the other soft forks I'm excited for is, as Jeremy mentioned, Sagash no input or any Prevote, because it enables some interesting things. Obviously L2, not having long timeouts. Same thing with state chains as well, payment channel factories. So those are definitely excited, and I'm also interested to see what CTV can do. Obviously a big fan of the work you're doing, Jeremy, and obviously being able to open up a significant number of Lightning channels using that, I think is really beneficial. So, yeah.
If I could, I'd love to add on to that. I think at Tantra, a lot of what we do is we try to do our accounting in Bitcoin. And so a lot of the new implementations that we're seeing that make it easier for us to not only transact on top of Bitcoin, but then to do more scalable transactions. I think we're seeing it right now in Ethereum, right? And Jeremy talked about it. The transaction cost on Ethereum is insane because of the congestion in the network, but also you're seeing how much the internet or our community wants to do things with decentralized finance. Like there is a need and a want for it. And it's so amazing to see it be built, like Matthew said, not as this house of cards, but actually a very strong foundation where we're not only learning from mistakes, but we're taking our time. And, we have some of the greatest developers in the world working on Bitcoin right now. So I'm just excited to be a part of it and see it all, unfold before our eyes, because we really are decentralizing finance, something we talk about a lot. It's like in the very beginning when the hypertransport protocol for the internet was created, not many people understood what that meant or how it worked. But now when you go to a website, you're using the hypertransport protocol. You're typing in HTTPS. That's what's being built on Bitcoin today. That's Lightning. That is CTV. That is all of these new technologies that are going to enable people to transact on the internet without even needing to understand what Bitcoin is or what all these things are. The groundwork and the foundation is being laid right now so that we can decentralize money in general. And it's just absolutely incredible to be a part of that movement.
Awesome. Yeah. And well put. Kind of talking about like demand for decentralizing money. Parker coined a term on one of my podcasts. He said definancializing the system. I'm curious, Parker, what are you seeing like in the future of Bitcoin, and is Unchained kind of like excited for any future or new up and coming capabilities?
I'm going to duck that question just a little bit. I think that there are things that we're excited about on the horizon for sure. I think that the principal investment that we've made over the last 12 to 18 months has been around collaborative multisig. And realistically, just in the last 6 to 12 months, I think that we're starting to see the accelerated adoption of individuals that are facilitating self-custody, as well as businesses that are facilitating self-custody to start to adopt multisig. And
we use their multisig, and it's incredible.
Yeah, we've got Tantra Labs on board. So realistically, our greatest excitement is in advancing that aspect in delivering and commercializing multisig for a self-custody application. But there are aspects of Schnorr and Taproot that we are excited about in terms of privacy around multisig. But realistically, right now, people are really learning about multisig for the first time, and people certainly don't like to change how it is they secure Bitcoin. Bitcoin security and custody is precious, and whenever someone's being asked to change that, it goes with a lot of diligence, tinkering, and understanding how the technology actually works. And so we're getting to the point where I think the first wave of adopters and businesses that are leading in that effort are venturing down that path, and that will only continue to see more individuals and businesses follow down the path as well.
Yeah, I mean, the Michael Sayer story is amazing, and then you hear guys like Jeff Booth saying that he's on the board of several other companies that are also having these conversations. It's just like, okay, well, where does this go? I wonder. Andrew, let's jump to you. As you asked, you're last on this question. What are your thoughts on future tech, as well as how you guys think about all of this stuff?
Totally, yeah. So we think of that on a very long-term horizon and timeline. So we're very excited about Taproot. Obviously, we have plans to implement that very early on once it's available. And we're very excited about TapScript and what that will allow us to do. As we know, we want to go and become a vertically integrated financial institution instead of going horizontal and supporting a bunch of different assets. We want to build as many financial services around Bitcoin that we can. And I can't speak about specifics yet, but we're having some cool conversations about what TapScript can enable us to do. So we're very excited about that.